Welcome back, everyone, to Trekyards. He is Commander Cockings.
He is kind of funny.
And resistance is like futile and all that junk. So we're here today to talk about Borg Queen.
Borg Queens.
Queens. There you go.
Because I want to take you through a bit of history, Stuart, before we compare. Because as you know, Stuart, the Borg... Look! Alice Krieg returned for Picard Season 3. The Borg Queen! Amazing! This is what she looked like, right? This is the Borg Queen.
I mean, at some point along her timeline, yes. Yes.
Oh. So you're saying this is what she looked like because that Borg Queen was from First Contact. This is from Voyager, who's after it. So that Borg Queen is the one we saw, right?
I mean, for a minute or two, absolutely, yes. You're 100% correct.
In season 3, right?
No.
Oh.
There was a season before season 3 as well, by the way.
Oh, wait, so you're saying this
saying.
Borg Queen. This is the one that... She's the one in season 3. Oh, right, okay, good to know, right.
I mean, closer.
What do you mean? I've shown you 3 queens, how am I not... Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Something happened on the way, Stuart.
A weird thing happened on the way to Jupiter.
This is so dramatic when you put them side by side. The 3 Borg Queens and the Borg H.R. Geiger body horror dying corpse queen.
Well, you know what happened was Janeway.
Yep, future Janeway.
The queen from season 2 was an alternate dimension queen, alternate reality queen. So yeah, not affected really, but
what happened in Endgame, Stuart? Remind us how they turned from Alice Krieg with her seductive voice into
Janeway. She basically introduced a little bit of a infection virus. I don't know how you want to.
I think it was called a neurolytic pathogen.
Yeah.
Because of course I remember that off the top of my head.
Right.
You just use the information, right?
Yeah. Which basically destroyed the collective. And we get some reference to that here in this latest finale but basically the Borg Queen was alone. Had nothing, nowhere to go, no way to expand, and this is the result. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was sort of left deliberately both dramatic and also vague at the end of season 7 of Voyager, because the point of the pathogen was actually Starfleet's final solution. It was there to actively destroy the Borg because it was future tech, etc. And it worked by severing the mental connection between everything. And without that connection, things go awry. And so the Borg Queen loses its ability to connect, and other drones I'm sure go mad, some self-destruct, etc. But we do see, and this is the confusing part, that the Borg Collective is, let's assume, thousands, if not tens of thousands of ships. Possibly millions if you include like small ships. I'm sure they have scouts and small things, right? We do see, though, that even after her respective death, as in that queen's body's death, because blew up in the Unimatrix, and that was the entire centre of the Borg hive mind, at least for that area, there was still a sphere that was entirely susceptible to commands, which then still worked fully functionally, still based on the old thing. So by that visual evidence, yes, a portion of the Borg was destroyed, but it just isolated other parts of the collective. So there's going to be leftover cubes, spheres, diamonds, planets, all across within very variable levels of, my last command was to assimilate. Okay, I'll keep going. Or my last command was to pause, but I can't hear the hive. Oh no, I will go free, or etc. There's a whole range of circumstances, right? And even though the queen died, she blew up and she couldn't talk to other queens. Like she was at that point, she was another version of the queen was pissed, because I'm sure there was we've said for a long time there's probably going to be several queens around the quadrants to kind of be central, like the vinculum, like a vinculum of collective CPU power throughout multiple sectors. So another queen from another sector. Oh no. And that one then, now being blocked, had a hypercube. Jesus, how hypercube. But was blocked and couldn't repair the connection beyond her cube, couldn't assimilate because the nanoprobes were destroyed or other such. And then what do you do when you're pushed against a corner and you can't adapt?
You listen and hear a voice calling you that you can communicate with, at least in some form, when you're reaching out. Yeah, it's funny because there are Borg scattered everywhere, and they're in different states of ill repair. As we saw in Prodigy, the episode that Sleeping Borg lay, or lie. So yeah, it's quite interesting that a lot of people assume there's only one queen, by the way. Yeah, I guess that's part of the point of a queen, but I mean, there's multiple, like, there would be more than one. And we've seen her crop up quite a few times.
Well,
so.
I mean, case in point, she was in Best of Both Worlds on the Cube and blew up. She was in First Contact and blew up. She was in Voyager and blew up, and yet always came back and always with the memories of the previous queen. So we've seen 4 distinct death of queens, and yet. So there's obviously multiple queens, and I've always enjoyed the idea that there's a rack of queens. They just pull the next one out and turn them on. I mean, it's that easy. Because, this has been, for me at least, a genetically modified creature that's able to think and control and work and whatever. It's a specialised thing. But yeah, Prodigy is an interesting example, obviously, because they were functioning drones. There was still a hive mind, because Zero went in and talked to a hive mind. So they had a fully functional... Like, the pathogen did not disable them, it just removed certain features, but they still had all their Borg stuff. So there's still going to be... And that's not this cube, because that cube was much smaller. So there are... this is not the end of the Borg in any way, shape, or form. It might be the end of the... Maybe she's the last queen. I could maybe go that far. Maybe all the other queens died and she's... Because that's the thing, it's the necessity factor. Maybe the queens did all die, and this one happened to survive. It was under repair. She was disconnected from her body. She was maybe on a mission, doing something practically. And then she was not affected, and therefore, as the last queen, she was like, oh no, all my sisters are dead, all the other me's are dead, like, I need to... But I can't,
Yeah, I like the new look though. Like that malnourished look. She was talking about cannibalizing her drones.
I mean, geez.
And also the amount of cabling and everything in there. I like that, because if she can't connect with her drones the standard way, I can see them like trying to cable to different alcoves to have communication, because they all kind of feed into her bottom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a more physical connection. It's not wireless like the like the old queen. But that would make a lot of sense, honestly. And that could explain why the cube looked the way it did as well, interior.
And also I want to point something really interesting out. And obviously production is the reason. But now I've done the next shot where you can see clearly a headshot. This is not the same alien race that was Alice Krieg's classic Borg. Those head pieces are the exact same as alternate universe Borg. So this is not the same alien race as Alice. Now obviously that's because they had the makeup from last season, they would use it, but they didn't. This is not the same queen design as the classic one, who is simpler. This is the new Borg queen design from the alternate universe, so that, that's visual canon. You can't, even Lower Decks, they did this queen, the classic one, and it looks like the way it looks. They are tubes out of her head. They're not organic, ribbed things, right? So this is not, I just realized that this is not Alice Krieg's queen. This is her conscious into the new alien body. So maybe this body was a second tier or a different vibe. Because also you can see both the other queens, they don't have contact lenses, they just have eyes. You can see around it. Whereas if you look at the one, does the new queen just have fully black eyes? Was that a thing?
I believe so. Yes.
Because again, that's the difference between the alien race that isn't carried over.
Well, if you zoom in, it's more of a black and got a little bit of a orange or red in the middle. That's very, very faint.
But it's not human. Alice was human. Interesting. See, this is why Trekyards is here. Because why would you notice this stuff?
And the one picture, where you see the production photos.
Yes.
If you zoom in on the one on the right, she has no contacts in. I don't think, because that's just like.
Oh yeah, the next shot clearly shows the eyes are hued. Yeah, and this is a great shot thanks to Kit, one of the production designers. There hasn't been many shots the Queen released, but this collage I thought was interesting. Really shows the gruesome body horror, and that, I mean, my goodness, this level of makeup and costume, and I mean, that's effective as all hell.
And like you've said many times, very H.R. Giger.
Although you can see where the season 2 makeup with the head is also Geigery, does lead into this. It's a nice extension. But yeah, so this is the close-ups, obviously. The tubes have taken over. making her blind in one eye. Her chest is ripped to shreds. Now it's a cord. Even the arm closest to us, they've given us bone detail, which is I couldn't see for the episode. But that's really horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty terrific, actually. I'm super impressed with the makeup. It was quite disturbing to see, and but it makes sense because they do make a point of saying that she's basically cannibalizing her drones to survive.
Not sure what that means though.
Neither do I. It's not like she's roaming around eating them, but I think she's just drawing their life energy or like not providing them with any and using it for herself. That's why they're rotting in their cubicles. Because
I assume there would be a lifespan on the queens anyway. Maybe they are only designed to last like 5 years because you've got thousands of them. When a body's been overused, you just like a Cylon, right? You move the conscious to a new body to get the benefits of being a fresh brain. If you're having to deal with millions of voices and process it, I guess because that's never been in canon. But if these bodies get burned out within 2 or 3 years, and then she's like, well, there are no bodies. I can't make any new ones, and I can't fix a pathogen. I need to make this one body survive as many years as possible, and then she does this, and then I don't know how exactly organic parts of other drones would be useful, because we see a drone that's down to its metal, but is that implying that they scraped off the human organic to then sludge onto her? Because she's mostly tubes, so I don't know why she would need organic sludge to. Like, you know what I mean? There's a slight disconnect there of what they meant. Cause
I don't think they scraped it off. I think it basically just it died. At least its organic parts died and just rotted away.
Yeah, but how did that help her then? So I'm saying, if that's not connected, then how did she? Because Borg just need energy to live. We saw Hugh. He connects to a socket. You can live as long as you want. So why would she need? Like, they clearly have energy.
She needs the energy so she can't just supply it throughout the cube.
The cubes don't have to power her? It powered a beacon thing that was the size of Jupiter's spot. I'm sure opening a transport conduit would be enough power to live her forever. So there's got to be something else to it. That's why the interesting confusion, because it's such a crossed visual of it's not it's like there's more guy. It's less the techno Borg than the piping Borg than the life support stuff. So I could see her, adding the tech onto her to like make her body more. Because she didn't even bother, swap out hands for Borg hands, which would have more abilities. She's almost organic to the core. So it's interesting. Like, I'd love to know the art direction for this because it's so distinct, but I don't know what it's trying to say to us exactly.
It's supposed to be shocking, and it worked.
And I'm assuming also that it was actually. Just like Alice Krieg, when she flies in, it's just this and blue. So I'm assuming all she is like a corset, comes up to there and she slots into it, and then her hands, because it's not a costume, right? She's in a harness and such, with some clever makeup. So I'd love to see where the seam line was, because it's really well done.
Yeah, it's fantastically done. And quite disturbing, and I think they did a fantastic job with that.
Well, let's end out with final picture. The story of the Borg Queen, where it began, best of both worlds, when she was manhandling Locutus, and where it ended up.
Just goes to show you, boys and girls, evil doesn't help you age well. Just saying.
But if they only had found the Omega particle, it'll all be okay.
Yes, it's quite a stark contrast, eh? Wow.
It's so horrible. And yes, this is the gentle retcon that she was in Best of Both Worlds. They did film this brief moment to show she was in Best of Both Worlds, even though she didn't see her, but she was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is in First Contact.
It seemed a little, yeah. But yeah. So there you go, guys. We've talked about the Queen, and we want your thoughts. You are a collective, and we want your input. So by all means, become one with the voice that is the hive mind of all of the commenters and Trekyardians down there.
Well, I mean, the YouTube chat window is kind of a hive mind. You guys are all putting your voices forward, we hope, being part of the conversation,
Yeah. And if you want to do that on a live, which is always a fun thing, by all means, make sure you're subscribed and click the notification bell icon so you don't miss those lives.
And, most directly, monthly Patreon. If you go to Patreon, you search Trekyards, or join the channel on YouTube with the join button. Shocker.
Ooh. We got a fleet.
We do. It's really quite amazing. And super thanks on any video if you want to, or buy a shirt with the links down below. Any and all are appreciated.
That's right. And speaking of that fleet, you're going to see it right now. So pay attention. If you've joined the channel as a member, your name will be there somewhere. So find it. See what ship you're serving on. So until next time, he is Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley.
Catch you later.
Bye, guys.